heart welcome to yet another edition of your weekly international current affairs program, Global Watch from the Cameroon Radio Television with me, Charles Ebune. The growth rate of the world is expected at 2.7% this year as compared to 2.9% last year. That is a decrease, which literally translates to a more difficult 2024 economically. Just how far a government struggling to keep the books balanced in a more morose global economic environment. My guest today has plus 10 years of experience in development economy. Dr. ABRAMS TAGEM. Welcome to Global Watch.
Welcome, Charles. Thank you for having me here.
The International Monetary Fund says that the forecast for 2024 this year is 2.7% as compared to 2.9% last year. That is a decrease. Simply put, what does that mean?
In terms of the forecast, so there are very, what the IMF likes to call macroeconomic fundamentals, which contribute to growth across countries and across regions. And they do their forecasts with the World Economic Outlook. It's the flagship IMF report, which comes out twice a year, which coincides with their IMF World Bank meetings, which also hold twice a year. So the outlook, based on their forecast... April, October, yes. So based on the forecasts, we are going to experience a 0.2 percentage point drop in economic growth. That can be attributed to, the difficulties or the global headwinds which we are facing now. The pandemic or the coronavirus pandemic is receding, so most countries are picking up after that. But just when people thought they were out of, some kind of turbulence, then we had the Russia-Ukraine squabble, which is almost turning into a full-blown war. It sent prices very high, and then, oil prices went up, food prices went up, fertilizer prices went up, which contributed to inflation, which hasn't been receding as much. It's just now again being compounded by the Israel-Palestinian conflict, which again, we're talking about a region which sits on significant oil reserves. So the effects are going to be palpable on energy markets. Again, the prices are going to go up, and then there might also be, general lack of risk from, investors. They lose confidence and they don't want to diversify their portfolios. Hence, it's also contributing to the reduction in global output. For a country like Cameroon, most countries, we are going to grapple with that because we are oil producers in Cameroon, especially in the Central African sub-region where you have Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. Those are all oil or natural resource-rich countries. So all these external and external pressures, especially on the oil prices, contribute significantly to what those countries can do in terms of their output.
Let's just hang on the Middle East and especially around the Gulf area. Strategically, like you said, this is the belt of the global oil market, where you have all the giants, Qatar, be it gas, Saudi Arabia with petrol or fuel, and all the rest, Iran. How much does that create a havoc to the consumer market when you have areas like the Iranian Strait of Hormuz, which is 30% of global oil transaction or maritime trade? When such regions of the world continually remain in a jigsaw puzzling situation, how much shock waves are sent to the global economy?
The shock waves, we can analyze them in two directions. First, it's going to be political, and then it's going to be economic.
Okay.
In terms of politics, it might become some kind of proxy wars between superpowers. If you remember, the world wars, or one of the world wars, wasn't because, some two superpowers were fighting. It eventually became a proxy war. So, for example, Israel can be seen as...
talking of World War I.
Exactly, yeah. So Israel is a very strong ally of the US. We know that. So this can be seen as a proxy war between Israel and the US, and Hamas and Hezbollah, and Iran, which can actually drag Russia and China into it. So now they become two different blocs, and then it becomes, a war between superpowers. It can also contribute to economic fragmentation.